Hey everybody, the Individual 11 here, back with another Bloodborne video. In this one we're going to take a look at our armor, and then we're also going to be doing the Martyr Logarius boss fight. So we're going to open up and have a look at what we've got here. So he uses some attacks that basically use a lot of arcane, so we're looking to have a higher arcane defense in our armor. So if you're looking here, you can look at the arcane. I'm just focusing in on the arcane stat for now and scrolling down to see what number I see is the highest. We've seen about 60 or so here on the hats, on the head section of our equipment. The white church hat and the whole white shirt set will probably work well, but I like to mix and match just to keep a good balance of the stat I'm trying to get a defense against, plus just regular physical defense, because you don't want to make yourself too wide open to other things. So moving on to the chest area here, we're probably going to end up going with the white garb here again. Seeing 140. Now we've got 140 here with the student uniform, but look at the physical defense and everything else. It's just really low. So I'm gonna not go with the student uniform in this case, and we're probably just gonna end up going with the tomb prep guard. And when we move on to the arms, now the gloves here, these aren't as detrimental. They do still boost your stats, obviously, but there's not a great deal of variation. So you can kind of pick what you like here. And as for the legs, well, aesthetics-wise, the legs always make a difference. But you'll see that there are significant stat differences even in the legs. So we're gonna try and find a balance and go probably with the black trousers. And you know what? Maybe not. Looking at here, looking at the difference. Better safe than sorry. Yeah. We'll keep the executioner's trousers. Alright. So now we're gonna head on over, now that we look like that one guy from Halloween 5, we're gonna head on over to Castle Canehurst to deal with the Martyr. Now he doesn't particularly have any weaknesses to anything particular, so you can use whatever you got. My weapon has fire imbued in it already, so there'll be no fire paper usage for me. But as we go through here, we're going to take the shortcut because I've already fought him and died about 3 times already. So if you don't have the shortcut unlocked, you'll have to go to the left and go through the main pathway, fight through all the enemies, and eventually you'll get this unlocked towards the end. So we're going to take this shortcut all the way up, and we're going to be running past enemies at this point because there's no sense in engaging them. You'll just be wasting blood vials. And you're going to see here, when I run past all these lovely ladies, you know, make the homies say ho and the girlies want to scream, they're going to be screaming, and if you get caught in the scream, it will restrict you. And then you're going to notice here that I'm getting hit with these blood daggers and drop right off the ladder. These little blood daggers from the little short enemies that hide in the corner, they enact this little blood mark that you see on the back of the neck there. And they don't do a lot of damage, but as you can notice, they are depleting my stamina. So if you don't get all the way up the ladder and they deplete your stamina, you drop down. But once you run past them and get enough distance, the mark will just disappear like it does right now. And as you can see, the damage that was done wasn't that bad. Now up here on this roof, there will be some enemies towards your left, but we're running past all of that. I'm going to drop down to this roof and precariously drop down onto this little smaller roof here, and we're going to make our way onto this platform, to this walkway rather. And when we head all the way through here, we're going up. there aren't really much enemies on this section, which is good. And we're gonna get right to the boss. Now, he's not terribly difficult in the grand scheme of things, but you got to know what you're looking for, which is why we changed our armor to be prepped for him. So we're going to engage with him. First thing he's going to do is one big kind of a projectile attack, which is pretty easily dodged. So you're going to come down here, goad him into actually doing the attack, and then move to your left or right. And we're going to be using these little chapel steeple things as cover for a lot of his attacks. So he's going to hide behind stuff. He's going to do those, and you're going to try and either dodge over it or hide behind something, because they will do a lot of damage. Like there. We're healing. So basically we're going to just try and get him positioned behind something. And some of them will go through, but the majority of his attacks won't. His staff, when he starts doing staff attacks, those do reach right through there. Just clip right through, so just be mindful. But the idea here is to avoid these ghost attacks and try and get behind him a lot. You're not going to be able to interrupt him doing most of these attacks, though. But they're directional. So if you can avoid the direction, see, I got him back up against a wall. That's not really great. So I'm going to be open. So I'm going to hide behind here for a little bit. And what you can do is just draw him out. Once you get him into phase 2, I'm going to get him into phase 2 when he really starts doing more physical attacks and lunging attacks as well. And then it's going to be harder, but also easier. So just duck right under those. Just be mindful of your stamina, so I'm going to back around. He does this little AoE thing here. And now he's into phase 2, so he's doing his lunging. So the idea in this phase is to parry, parry, and parry again. Easier said than done. Try not to lock on to him, believe it or not, because that will limit your mobility, and you have this big wide open space. You're going to want to use that mobility a lot. I'm going to lock onto him later. That's just to make the parries more accurate. Once I've got him into the spot that I want him in, which is just about here. So there we go. We're going to hit one. It can be a little difficult trying to get these viscerals, but they will do a lot of damage. When he starts doing, you see he's doing all of these swords are actually flying, these blood swords are flying above my head, but they're missing me because I'm somewhat covered by some of these pillars. So when he starts doing those blood source things, just move to the other area and hide behind something. And now it's parry time. So thankfully he telegraphed these pretty well. And you can see the officials are doing a lot of damage. At this point, I'm just going to finish him off. Blam. And send him to the netherworld. It looks easy when you get it right, but trust me, I've died to him quite a number of times already. But it's not over. So once he's dead, what we're going to want to do is get the item that he has dropped. So first we're going to light this lamp. That's always the most important thing to do. And then we're going to pick up this item. Now you might be thinking, alright, great, so this is an item. As long as I have this on me, we're going to progress. But it's actually a crown that he was wearing. So ideally, we would sit on his little throne that's down there. But we kind of broke that in the fight. So what you need to do is head towards the area where he was sitting, where you can see the scraps of his throne there on the ground towards in the camera direction that I'm not facing. But what we're going to do here is go into our inventory, go to our head equipment, and we're actually going to equip the crown that he was wearing. So the item we just picked up, and you're going to see it's called the Crown of Illusions. Okay, so once we have equipped that, looking very debonair, we're going to head in that direction, and we're going to, not that way, that way, the one with the 2 flames. We're going to cross over where his throne was, and it's going to trigger a cutscene. It's going to open up a doorway for us, and where this cutscene is going to take us eventually is to the Queen of the Vile Bloods, Queen Elise. Annalise, I believe her name is. Now this is important for questing things and for some multiplayer things. So he'll give you a rune that will basically give you the covenant of the invaders in this game. But it's also kind of important for a storyline for Alfred, the NPC who helped us out during the Blood-Starved Beast fight. So we're going to go in this way up to her throne, but we're also going to be acquiring a particular item that's in here that will get Alfred here. Now, you know what game you're playing. This is Bloodborne, so nothing ends well for anyone in this game. But that's the way Miyazaki planned it. So we're going to be getting this particular item that will bring Alfred here and then bring him ultimately to his demise. But aren't we all really dying in Bloodborne? Are we all even alive in Bloodborne? Questions for later. So we're gonna go straight ahead and then move right opposite the lamp here. We're gonna go to the right, and in this space we're gonna go up there, and there's gonna be I think an unopened summons, and that is what we will use to get back to get Alfred here once we go back and talk to him. So we're gonna come up to the Queen. We're gonna kneel and just going to go through all her dialogue. We're going to accept just so we can progress certain things, but don't do anything else beyond that. And then after that we're going to leave. And that way we will be able to do more than one thing in here. And we won't lock ourselves out of anything. But that'll do it for now. I'll be back with even more videos and content in just a little bit. So thanks for watching, and take it easy.